Okay, guys, you should be looking at page 59 in the book. Page 59 in the book. There is a very popular book, a science fiction book that was written in 1870, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Has anybody ever read it? You've heard about it? Okay. Well, on the chart, what they did is they compared the leagues, a league to a mile, and a league is a form of measurement. 1 league is 3 miles. 2 leagues is how many miles? 6. 6 leagues is 18. How many leagues is 36 miles? 12. And 20,000 leagues is 60,000 miles. What relationship do you see in the table? Well, the league is multiplied by 3 to get the miles. Good. So the league is multiplied by 3 to get the miles. So everybody sees that. Now we got those numbers to fill in the table. You sure? Okay, so for each column of the table, find the ratio of the distance in miles to the distance in leagues. Write that down, please, for me. We're comparing miles to leagues now. So what is 3 divided by 1? 3. Now what's the next one going to be? Divided by 2 is? And then 18 divided by 6 is 3. 36 divided by 12 is 3. 60,000 divided by 20,000 is 3. So what do we notice about all the ratios? All equal 3. All the ratios. Now, in 7th grade, 6th grade, 5th grade, you call this the unit rate. When you found the amount for 1, you did that, you called it the unit rate. We're going to call it something different today. The unit rate tells the amount for 1. So if I get in my car and put the cruise on 70, I'm going 70 miles per hour. That 70 is a unit rate because it tells me how many miles I'm going to go in 1 hour. If you buy a bag of candy and you find the cost for 1 candy bar, that's the unit rate. Whatever 1 candy bar costs. If you go down the cereal aisle at Walmart, they've got a tag on all the cereal and it tells the unit rate. It tells how much each ounce costs. It'll put 0.12 cents. Well, put 12 cents per ounce or whatever. Yes. No, that is like fruit and vegetables like that. A lot of that you pay per pound. So it weighs it and it takes the unit rate. So let's say apples were $1.29 a pound. You have to pay $1.29 per pound. So that it gives you the unit rate and multiplies by the pound. Okay, good. So if you know the distance between 2 points in leagues, how can you find the distance in miles? If you know the leagues, what are you going to do to find the miles? Multiply what? 3 times the leagues. We already did that once up there. Let's write it algebraically now. If you know the distance between 2 points in miles, how are you going to find the leagues? Divide what? Come on, somebody help them. What did we do up there? There you go. Miles divided by, no, 3 to get the leagues. Somebody said leagues. You're going to divide the miles by 3 to get the leagues. Does that make sense? Okay. So, on this right here, when we divided, just a minute, when we divided, we got 3. That's called the unit rate. We're going to find another name for it on the next page, page 60, at the top. Okay. When the ratio of the distance in miles to the distance was constant. It stayed the same, didn't it? It was always what? It was always what? 3. When we compared the ratio of miles to the leagues, we always got 3 over there, and that was our unit rate. Well, now, and it stayed constant. Now it has a new name. It's called constant of proportionality. It's a big word. Constant of proportionality. So, all right. So what we're going to do, when you are comparing 2 quantities, 2 numbers, when you're comparing 2 numbers, that is called a ratio. Okay? That is called the ratio. When you're comparing 2 numbers. We compared the miles to the leagues a while ago. And we got 3. And that's called the constant of proportionality. That's what that's called. So, everybody come over here and write this. When you can write an equation, when you can write this as an equation, y equals kx, then you know it's proportional. When you can write y equals kx, when you write y equals kx, then you know that it's going to be proportional. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill in what we just learned. Okay? What was k? What did but what was it? What number? It was 3. X represented what? And then Y was the miles. Yes. So if we were to graph this, everybody make a big L. If we were to graph this, here's your X, here's your Y. The X would be the leagues, and the miles would be the Y. So I get what we just did just then. So X is your leagues, M is your Y, your miles on the Y. Since we can write it in this form, we know that when we compare these 2 things, it's proportional. It has a proportional relationship. So how is this graph going to look? Who remembers from last year? How this graph is going to look since it represents a proportional relationship. It's going to go a straight line. It's going to be a straight line. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Brooke. So it's going to go through 0, 0, and it's going to be linear. It's going to go up 3 every time, isn't it? For every league, it went up 3 miles. So we know that's going to be linear. But because we can write it in this form, we know it's got to go through 0, 0. Look, guys, if I put 0 here, what's 3 times 0? 0. So we know it's going to go through 0, 0. So this represents a proportional relationship, a proportional graph. So now let's look. Megan, you didn't know you got a job, did you? You're going to make $12 an hour, part-time. That's pretty good. Okay? she's going to make $12 an hour. So they've already set the table up for us. The hours is going to be our X. The amount she earns is going to be our Y, because the amount she earns depends on how many hours that she works. So the amount that she earns is going to depend on how many hours she works. So if she works 1 hour, that's going to be $12. 2 hours is going to be 24, and so on. So what they did is they came down here and they wrote a ratio. Okay? The amount earned is what? Our Y, and the number of hours is our X. So, now, what they did, come up here. You see this right here? To find K, which was the unit rate, now you divide Y by X, but now we're going to call it something different. The constant of proportionality. So to find K, put K equals Y over X. To get K, the constant proportionality, we're going to divide the Y by the X. Or they did it for us already. They were nice. So they divided the 12 by 1 and got 24 by 2 and got 12, and so on. So the K, the constant proportionality is what? 12. How about that? So we know that you're going to write the equation Y equals 12X. Y represents the what? Y is the what? The amount earned, and X is the number of hours. And 12 is called the what? Constant of, say it, proportionality. And it's also the unit rate. So she's going to make $12 an hour no matter how many hours she works. It's going to stay the same. Okay? So everybody gets that. So if I were to graph this, everybody look, draw me a big L. Put X, put Y. X represents what? Y'all just tell me. X represents what? Good. And Y is the amount earned. Is it going to go through 0, 0? How do y'all know? How do you know? It's in this form right here. Guys, this is one way. Listen. This is one way you know it's going to be proportional. Because it's written in this form. Y equals 12X. 12 is the constant of proportionality. Guys, if she works 0 hours, what's she going to earn? $0. So it's going to go through 0, 0. Is it going to be linear? Yes, because for every hour she works, it's going to go up $12 for every hour she earns. Does that make sense? That's what makes it linear. That 12 makes it linear. Okay, look at number 3. 15 bicycles are produced each hour at the Speedy Bike Works. Show that the relationship between the number of bikes produced and the number of hours is a proportional relationship. Then write the equation. All we're going to do is write Y equals KX. Write Y equals KX. What does Y represent? No, Y, the amount of what? Of bikes. What is the constant proportionality? Y 15. They're making 15 per hour. And what is X? It could be 1, but it changes. There you go. It's the hours. So since we can write it in that form, we know it's going to be proportional. Okay.
Turn the page. Look on the top of the next page. What they did, guys, wait a minute. Oh. Okay, we'll start there tomorrow.